Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. On the President's Day weekend, I took advantage of the 25% off coupon and finally got myself the new 61-piece half-inch Master Impact socket set. I've been looking at this set for a while. It's really attractive to me for several reasons, which I'll talk about more later in the video. I think many people might be wondering how good the Quinn Impact socket set is, especially since this is the first time the Quinn brand releases any impact rated socket, or impact rated anything really. In this video, I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison of the new Quinn Impact socket set with Harbor Freight's supposedly lower tier Pittsburgh Pro Impact socket set and the higher tier Icon Impact socket set. I compared the material, design, dimension, weight, and cost of the sockets from the three brands. I hope my video can help you make an informed decision on your purchase. First, let's take the Quinn Master Impact socket set out of the box and see what it has to offer. To open the carrying case, we need to undo the two tabs on the front and one tab on each side of the carrying case. There we go. The first reason why I like this set is that it does not skip sizes. In the center are 14 metric deep sockets ranging from 10mm to 24mm and 14 SAE deep sockets ranging from 7/16 inch to 1 1/4 inch. On the side are 14 metric and 14 SAE shallow sockets matching the size of the deep sockets. I know I'm likely not going to use every size as a DIYer, but having non-skipping sizes is more like an OCD thing for me. I'm sure some of you would understand. The second reason why I like this set is because it comes with a number of extensions, so I don't need to buy them separately. It even comes with a swivel socket adapter, which is going to be really helpful to get to bolts at an angle. Really cool. The third reason why I like this set is because it comes with this blow mold case that perfectly fits everything inside. All the sockets are placed on one side of the case, so we don't need to worry about the sockets falling all over the place when we open it after a bumpy ride. The four tabs around the case do a great job keeping the case shut on the move. I only have a small 5-drawer cart, and I don't use impact sockets all the time. With the carrying case, I don't have to store them in the cart and push them around with me every time. Plus, I get to carry the impact sockets in the truck alongside with the 301-piece Pittsburgh 2 set with me on junkyard trips, which is really nice. That's a general overview of the Quinn Impact socket set. Let's move on to the Pittsburgh Pro Impact socket set. The Pittsburgh Pro shallow metric socket set has 13 sockets, missing 20 and 24mm sockets, with the addition of a 27mm socket compared with the Quinn Impact socket set. The Pittsburgh Pro Deep Metric socket set only comes with 10 sockets, missing 10, 16, 18, and 20mm sockets compared with the Quinn Impact socket set. The Pittsburgh Pro Impact socket set doesn't come with any carrying case or holder. It does come with a socket rail, but the socket rail fits the sockets so tight that it's very difficult to use. Despite all that, the Pittsburgh Pro Impact sockets are tested and liked by many DIYers and professionals over the years. They're very well made and quite durable for the cost, and can be a very competitive contender against the Quinn Impact socket set. Last but not least, we have the Icon Impact socket set. Like the Quinn Impact socket set, both the Icon Deep and Shallow socket set come with 14 sockets. However, the Icon set swapped out the 20 and 24mm for 26 and 27mm socket. Please leave a comment below which sockets are used more often in your experience. The Icon Impact socket set comes with a plastic tray that marks the socket sizes. I've seen people put the tray directly in their toolboxes as an organizer. It actually looks pretty neat if you have the storage space to store the sockets flat and don't mind the plastic material. Icon is considered top of the line hand tools offered by Harbor Freight to compete with the name brands such as Snap-on and Matco tools. It will be interesting to see if their impact sockets are built stronger than the Quinn and the Pittsburgh Pro impact sockets. Alright, here is a side-by-side comparison of the deep and shallow impact sockets from the three brands. On the left is the Pittsburgh Pro brand, in the middle is the Quinn brand, and on the right is the Icon brand. I picked 14mm size for the shallow impact socket comparison and 21mm size for the deep impact socket comparison. This is because these are the ones that I used when working on my Mustang. Material-wise, they all use chromium molybdenum, so there's no difference there, at least not that I can tell. Looking at the socket design, we can see that the Pittsburgh Pro and the Quinn impact sockets have quite similar design. Look at the top of these two deep impact sockets, and then the bottom. They look pretty much identical to me. Now look at the shallow impact sockets. Here's the top. Here's the bottom. I would say that the Pittsburgh Pro impact socket might look slightly thicker from the video, but other than that, I wouldn't be surprised if you tell me they're manufactured by the same factory. We'll see if the Pittsburgh Pro impact socket is actually heavier later in the video. The design between the Quinn impact socket and the Icon impact sockets are very different. The Icon deep impact socket feels a lot beefier and heavier than the Quinn deep impact socket. The Icon deep impact socket is also taller than the Quinn deep impact socket and does not have the groove at the bottom. Comparing the shallow sockets, the Icon socket looks slightly thicker than the Quinn socket, and the Icon socket does not have the groove at the bottom as well. Some people might care about how the socket sizes are marked on the sockets. The Pittsburgh Pro socket only has size stamped on one side of the socket. The Quinn socket has the size stamped on one side and laser etched on the other side. The Icon socket only has size laser etched on one side of the socket, which is also a bit difficult to read. The Quinn socket set clearly won this one. Now, let's measure the diameters of the sockets. The Pittsburgh Pro deep socket measures 29.93 mm. The Quinn deep socket measures 29.94 mm. That's pretty much the same as the Pittsburgh Pro deep socket. The Icon deep socket measures around 31.94 mm, a full 2 mm larger than the Quinn and the Pittsburgh Pro deep sockets. The Pittsburgh Pro shallow socket measures 22.11 mm. The Quinn shallow socket measures 21.95 mm, only slightly below the Pittsburgh Pro shallow socket. The Icon shallow socket measures 21.69 mm, the smallest of the three. I guess Icon might have strengthened its deep socket to take on extreme torque from daily professional use. I also measured the inside of the sockets for comparison. This measure is by no means accurate due to the curved edges on the inside, so please don't take this part of the video too seriously. The Pittsburgh Pro deep socket measures 21.3 mm. The Quinn deep socket measures 21.21 mm. The Icon deep socket measures 21.26 mm. The Pittsburgh Pro shallow socket measures 14.17 mm. The Quinn shallow socket measures 14.26 mm. The Icon shallow socket measures around 14.16 mm. They all seem pretty close to each other. Next, let's measure the height of the sockets. The Pittsburgh Pro deep socket measures 78.34 mm. The Quinn deep socket measures 78.09 mm, shorter than the Pittsburgh Pro deep impact socket by a negligible amount of only a quarter millimeter. The Icon deep socket measures 82.02 mm, almost 4 mm longer than the other two brand sockets. The Pittsburgh Pro shallow socket measures 38.1 mm. The Quinn shallow socket measures 37.99 mm, again, shorter than the Pittsburgh Pro shallow sockets by a negligible amount. The Icon shallow sockets measures 38.02 mm, pretty much the same as the Pittsburgh Pro and the Quinn impact sockets. There's not much to say about the height, except that the Icon deep impact socket is slightly longer in the competition. Next up is comparing the weight of the sockets. Some people believe the weight of the socket can affect the performance of impact wrenches, So we'll see how the socket weight from the three brands compare. The Pittsburgh Pro shadow socket weighs 68 grams. The Quinn shadow socket weighs 68 grams as well, exactly the same as the Pittsburgh Pro shadow socket. The Icon shadow socket weighs 74 grams, 6 grams heavier than the Quinn and the Pittsburgh Pro shadow socket. The Pittsburgh Pro deep impact socket weighs 244 grams. The Quinn deep impact socket weighs 238 grams, 6 grams lighter than the Pittsburgh Pro socket. Unsurprisingly, the Icon deep socket weighs the heaviest at 320 grams, a whole 80 grams heavier than the Quinn and Pittsburgh Pro sockets. I think the Quinn deep socket is slightly lighter than the Pittsburgh Pro deep socket because it is slightly shorter. The weight comparison further confirms that the Pittsburgh Pro impact sockets and the Quinn impact sockets are made very similarly. The Icon shadow and deep sockets are both heavier than the other two brands, which might help to hold up high torque abuse better. Finally, let's talk about price. The Pittsburgh Pro SAE and metric deep socket sets each come with 10 sockets and cost $34.99. The Pittsburgh Pro SAE and metric shadow socket sets each come with 13 sockets and cost $28.99. This means that the whole set of Pittsburgh Pro impact sockets include 46 sockets and cost a total of $128. That's an average of $278 a piece. The entire Quinn impact socket set comes with 61 pieces of socket, extensions, and adapters, and sells for $179.99 after the recent $10 price increase. This averaged to $3.21 a piece. The Icon SAE shadow and deep socket sets each come with 13 sockets and cost $59.99 and $79.99 respectively. This means that the whole set of Icon impact sockets include 54 sockets and cost a total of $270. This averaged to $5 a piece. Looking at the average cost, a Quinn socket is about 43 cents more expensive than a Pittsburgh Pro socket. Not too bad. The Icon socket is in a different league, $1.79 more expensive than a Quinn socket. Now, to make things more interesting, how would the average cost change if I include extensions and swivel adapters in the Pittsburgh Pro set and Icon set? I look up on the Harbor Freight website for the extensions and swivel adapters offered by these two brands. The swivel adapters only comes in pairs, so I divided the price in half to get the price for just one adapter. Here is how the table becomes after including the extensions and swivel adapters. The average cost between a Quinn socket and an Icon socket increased to a whopping $2.79, while the gap between a Quinn socket and the Pittsburgh Pro socket narrowed down to merely 12 cents. If you take the 12 cents and multiply by 61 pieces, this practically means that you're paying only $7.32 to get a carrying case for all the impact sockets.
Wow!
With the 20 to 25% off coupon Harbor Freight offers every now and then, which often do not exclude the hand tools, you can get the Quinn Master Impact Socket set for even cheaper. What a great deal!
Yeah!
It's time to conclude this video. After comparing the three brands, I'm happy to say that I'm still really excited about the Quinn Impact Socket set. From comparing the design, dimension, weight, and cost, I feel that the Quinn Impact Socket is basically rebranded Pittsburgh Pro socket with added laser etched sizes on the impact sockets and a blow mold carrying case. This is a good thing because the Pittsburgh Pro socket has been tested and praised by so many DIYers and professionals, so I expect the Quinn impact sockets to perform at least the same, if not better. Plus, the carrying case gives you the options to carry all the impact sockets around in an organized way. Isn't that awesome for mobile mechanics and DIYers? Speaking of rebranding, I have a feeling that Harbor Freight might slowly phase out the Pittsburgh Pro line of tools and rebrand them as the Quinn brand. This will fit in well with their good, better, best marketing strategy, with Pittsburgh being the good, Quinn being the better, and Icon being the best. What do you guys think? I'm perfectly happy with all the better tier stuff that I've gotten from Harbor Freight, such as the Bow Power tools and all your hand tools. I believe this Quinn Impact Socket set will work well for me too. With a hassle-free lifetime warranty, what could go wrong? right? That's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and found it helpful. If you liked my video, please drop a like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I see you next time.